All right, so welcome in, everybody. This is investor-friendly agents. These are the heroes of your real estate team. So this is what to look for, how to find them, and welcome. Welcome in. Man, a lot of people from Texas. All right, Andy. All right, today's agenda. We are going to talk about me the whole time. It's going to be exciting. Just kidding. A little bit about me, what your typical agent versus your investor-friendly agent looks like, and the characteristics of both. A great investor-friendly agent, and unfortunately, we got to talk about the bad ones. So you know what to look out for. I'm here looking out for you. So, and then how to come prepared as an investor. So you as an investor have some homework, some things that you need to do so that you're not a bad client for your good real estate agent. So, and then tools and tips to help you find agents, the best ways that I know how to find them. And I found them in several markets. And then my goal is to do, if everybody's okay with this, try to get this done in about 35, 40 minutes, and then have the rest of the time for Q&A. You guys can ask whatever you want. And then that way you guys get in some live Q&A. All right. About me. So I am a real estate agent. I am a real estate investor. I am both. I'm both on the light side and the dark side, depending on which side. They don't seem to get along all the time, but investors don't typically like a lot of agents, and some agents don't like working with investors. So I get to sit in the middle on the fence and reap the rewards of both. And so I'm located in Denver, Colorado. I've been doing fix and flips, wholesaling, wholesale for since about 2005, and then recently have started doing more BRRRR investments in other markets. And so I had to go find my own real estate agents in order to go outside of my market and be able to comfortably BRRRR in those markets. I run a real estate group, meetup group, badass real estate investors here in Denver. And so I get to talk to agents and investors, probably 50 to 100 agents and investors every month. So I get to, find out what's working, what's not working, what makes a great agent, what makes a good investor, all of those things. I did write a book for BiggerPockets called Finding and Funding Great Deals. And it's right there in the title. So it's all about finding deals and then putting them under contract and then being able to fund them and close them. And believe it or not, I was once not only a baby, but I was also a newbie to real estate at one time. Quick hit about my journey. I started at 25 in the year 2004 in the city of Phoenix, Arizona. I did a lot of odd jobs for mentors. These were agents and investors that I worked with. I did a lot of odd jobs for them in order to exchange for information, or like, hey, I'll go dig holes in the hot Phoenix sun in order to learn how to run comps on the MLS, those kind of things. And so I learned a lot, but I did a lot of free work in exchange. So I had no clue what I was doing. I literally, I had about 10 strategies. I was trying them all, and shocking that it didn't work. As a brand new investor, all 10 strategies didn't work. So I did buy a house from an investor-friendly real estate agent. She was one of my mentors that I got along with really well. She took me under her wing, and she taught me a lot of different things about MLS and comps and selling houses. And she had a client, and I bought her client's house, and we turned it into a live-in flip, because honestly, I had no idea what to do with this thing. I tried to lease option it. I tried to rent it. I tried to wholesale it, even though I didn't know what a wholesale was. That's where you buy a house and you just put it right back on the market. In Phoenix at that time, it should have worked brilliantly. But again, I was new, had no idea what I was doing. So I sold it a year later. Funny enough, I sold it right back to my agent / mentor, who she was a lot more bullish on that market than I was. And plus I wanted to move back home to Denver. So she helped me not only with the buy, and her parents ended up buying it from me a year later. I didn't have to market it or anything. So she had a pocket buyer for me. We moved back to Denver. I started over. So when you move to a new city and you don't know the market, basically started over. I got my real estate license. From there on, I started to be a little bit more focused, be a little bit more proactive, actually set goals, defined my processes, what I wanted my business to look like, what I wanted my lifestyle to look like, and started taking massive action from there. And like the other slide said, have done a few hundred wholesales, over 100 flips, have about 15 burrs that I've picked up in the last 6-8 months. And so this stuff works and it helps to have an agent. We'll get there. So it's definitely not rocket science to find an investor-friendly agent. Like that part's not the hard part. It's easy to find an agent. It's hard to find a good agent. That's kind of my mantra. Like I apply it to agents and wholesalers. So it's easy to find one. I can go and throw a dart at a map and find an agent. Will that agent be good? That is the toss up. So as an agent myself, I've been licensed since 2006-7. I get it. I understand that there's like not a lot of good agents out there sometimes. It feels like you're sifting through a lot of not so good agents who just have a pulse and a real estate license. And as investors, we're looking for a little bit more than somebody who just is breathing. We need some better skills. All right. So how can you tell if an agent is truly investor friendly? Like we'll get through that. So we'll show you exactly what to look for. So first we're going to talk about the range of real estate agents, kind of a spectrum of agents, and then their corresponding characteristics. So a good spectrum is your typical agent, right? This is, I would say 90% of your agents out there. I apologize, I keep hitting my microphone here. So 90% of your agents out there are typical, right? You have great investor-friendly agents, and you have the bad. With the good comes the bad. So Harold, we're going to pick on Harold here. He's our typical agent. There's nothing wrong with a typical agent. There are certain types of investors who could use Harold all day long for their benefit. Absolutely. This is a traditional agent who just helps their clients find homes. They work with sellers just to market their properties onto MLS. They're kind of in this box of, get client, put on MLS, sell property next, or have a buyer, find them a property, close next. And anything outside that box, if you talk about fix and flip, wholesale, I want to do burrs, I want to do Airbnbs, Harold may not be your guy, but he works with home buyers who are concerned about cosmetics. I've worked with these clients before as an agent, walk into a house, I've flipped dozens of houses by this time, and they're worried about the paint color. And they're like wanting to pass on a property because of the paint color. Typical agents deal with this all the time. Investor agents know you can look straight through that and you can find the value in those properties. They assist with marketing, negotiations, inspections, home appraisal, closing. So a guy like Harold, if I'm a fix and flipper and I'm finding my own properties that are off market, I'm going to use somebody like Harold to sell my flips. If I'm not already licensed, I need somebody like Harold who's going to come in, take the pictures, put it on MLS, deal with the showings, deal with the other agents, negotiate in my best interest, and get that deal under contract into the closing table. Like I have no problem paying Harold to do that, right? When we talk about investor-friendly agents, usually it's a little bit more on the buy side, but guys like Harold, they have their place in our tool belt as real estate investors. So Jacob, we're going to pick on Jacob even more. So a bad investor-friendly agent is, a lot of these things can apply to just a bad agent or a bad salesperson, but we'll differentiate a little bit of market stuff here. But little communication, barely sends any deals, or excuse me, blindly sends deals. So they don't know your buy box. They don't know what you're looking for. They just see something that looks like it's torn down or needs to be torn down. They send it to you without running the numbers, without understanding, is this overvalued, kind of wasting your time. A lot of agents will just put you on an MLS drip and then just set it and forget it. They'll say, this is Jason's box and he wants a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I'm going to just send him everything that pops up on MLS. The system's just going to automatically email them every day. And they think that that's, finding their clients deals. When it takes a lot more work than that, as you and I both know. So this agent, he doesn't understand investing, doesn't understand formulas. He doesn't understand financing types. He doesn't understand what's really working in his market, and what's not working. Is it an appreciation market? Is it a cash flow market? Is it good for short-term rentals? Is it good for tear down new development? Jacob here doesn't know. He doesn't know or care about your investing goals. So really good, on the opposite side, a really good investor-friendly agent will get to know you, your business, your goals, and help you meet your goals. Because by helping you meet your goals, they're going to make way more money than if they don't understand your business model and your skills, and where, what you need to buy in order to succeed, in order to, so you both can succeed. Basically, they're not on your team. Jacob's not on your team. He's just sending you properties. If you buy one, great. But he may not know why you bought that one or why you passed on 100 properties. So Jacob doesn't invest in real estate himself. There are some good agents out there who are good with investors who may not have invested themselves, but I would rather have an agent who understands investment, understands my business, and has done some investing themselves. It's not, 100% prerequisite. I would rather have somebody who has done some investing rather than somebody who hasn't. And then doesn't understand why their market is good or bad. I did touch on that a little bit. Whereas Lisa has some great skills here. So Lisa has firsthand knowledge and investing experience. She's done some deals herself. When you work with an agent who comes from they've house hacked themselves, then you as a house hacker can come in and they can answer some very specific questions and have some very specific things of what to look out for, what worked for them, all of that good stuff. So that experience of their own investing can help you rocket launch your own investing. So if you work with an agent who's done 100 flips, that guy's going to know a lot more than somebody who just got their real estate license and has never done a flip, or maybe doesn't even know what a flip is. So they send you properties that align with your strategy and criteria. This is obviously a given. You're not going to work with an agent who's not sending you good properties that work within your box. And they do a little bit of analysis on those properties to give you reasons on why to buy, why to pass on these properties. So my very first property, I had no idea what West Phoenix was doing at the time. My agent came in and said, look, they're about to break ground on the new Cardinal Stadium and a whole outdoor mall right across the street from where my client has a property that he wants to sell. So here's the strategic reasons of why. If you hold it till 2008, the Super Bowl's coming to town, you can short-term rent it for like 2 weeks and make 10 grand. Not only that, but there's just a ton of growth going on in this area. And if you look at the money that's being poured into this sector, that is why this little area of West Phoenix is, nobody really knows about it yet, or this is why you should buy there. I bought in, it made me $60,000. So thank you, Joy, for giving me strategic reasons to buy that I had no clue about. She had the market knowledge and I did not. And I trusted her. I did some homework and it worked out. So has good follow-up. They listen, they know your goals, they know you, they know your business, what you want to do. They're proactive. They can analyze a deal. So they can actually, if you give them your formula, your buy formula, they should be able to analyze a deal for you and get you the numbers. It takes like an extra 5 minutes for an experienced agent to do this. It saves the investor a ton of time and provides a ton of value for that investor. And so being able to analyze a deal is huge. And then access to off-market properties. This is a really good key for a great investor-friendly agent, because whether it's pocket listings, whether it is access to people in their network who are attorneys or probate attorneys, divorce attorneys, agents are, a good agent is a networker, and they tend to be outgoing. They tend to have like a high D personality. And so they know a lot more people than you might know inside of that field, and be able to tap you in with, people who have access to deals and access to deals themselves. So a really good agent would be able to give you, access to some of those deals as well. And again, understand your local market. I gave an example of my very first deal with Joy. I can give you another example of our agent in Columbus, and they really know everything that's kind of coming in, being built, what companies are moving in, what companies are thinking about moving out. They kind of keep a pulse on the general market and the growth. And that helps me as an out-of-state investor to know, hey, what side of town is that Intel plant going in on? Or, who's moving their headquarters here, or who's moving their headquarters out. That's stuff that would take me hours of research. And I might not even know. My agent might have found out from a lawyer friend or from somebody who is a CEO at a company. And so, having good access to the local market and a large network. And then punctual. Well, so this comes back onto you. Okay. So it's not going to be all about the agent. The investor has to do some work to make sure that they're a good client, easy to work with. I'll tell you this as an investor, as an agent, that the investors that I have, they have all of their ducks in a row, that are easy to work with and that are professional. They make my life so much easier, so I can add in all these extra little things of analyzing deals for them, making sure that they have all the market knowledge that they need, why they should invest into North Denver, because of things that are moving into town and growth and cool shops that are going in. It makes it so much easier when my investors prepared. They have their financing lined up. They know exactly what they want to do, strategy wise, etc. So that first one, have a crystal clear criteria. This is not only your business criteria of, hey, I am a fix and flipper, and these are the exact types of properties that I do or want to do, right? So then that way, when they convey that to me as an agent, I know their exact box. I know that they are looking for 3-bedroom, 2-bath plus, with a basement in Arvada, Colorado, right? That helps me it could be under a certain price. It could be, we're looking for this much margin. If the more you have put together, the easier it'll be for your agent to go out and find what you're looking for. If you just say, hey, I'm just looking for flips all over Denver, that could be anything. That could be $2 million properties. That could be, $100,000 condos. I need to know exactly what you need to give you what you need. So you're going to also want to respond quickly. You're going to want to have a good relationship both ways of communication. It's really hard to deal with clients when, it's hard to deal with an agent when they're non-responsive. Imagine being an agent, have somebody under a buy agreement and they're not even returning your calls. You might have a great property or some great information and they're not moving on it. Like, we all understand you have a job, you have your own life, you have kids, you have whatever, you might be on vacation, but being able to respond quickly and have a great communication network with your agent is huge. Pre-qualified. So I'll barely talk to an investor if they don't have their financing lined up. If they have no idea how much they qualify for, if they have the down payment that they need, that their lender wants, I can help them explore. I can help them give them lenders, give them hard money lenders, give them burr lending. I can give them all of that. But then I just ask, hey, come back with a pre-qual letter so that we know exactly what you can go out and buy. If you come to me and you don't have your financing in order, how can you have your crystal clear criteria in order at all? Because you don't even know how much of a property you can buy, right? You might be approved for 200,000 and you want to buy duplexes and those start at 600,000. So there's a obvious disconnect there. All right, take a swig of your iced tea. Here we go. So if the agent does all that work and they, a good agent, they analyze a deal, they give you a good reason to buy, it fits in your buy box, and they send it to you, and then you ghost them, how many times do you think you can do that before they just stop sending you deals and not want to work with you? So it definitely goes both ways with communication. And it's like, hey, I've given you every single thing that you need, as long as there's not something that's wrong with the property, of course. And you don't at least jump on it, whether it's a showing, an offer. I've had clients who have done this. Unfortunately, it's been everything that they've ever wanted. And I think it's just that last minute cold feet, which is totally understandable. As an agent, my job is to also help you get over that or help you make the right decision. And, if you have cold feet and you don't want to buy it, that's fine. But if you do that, 5, 6, 7 times in a row on perfect properties that you told me were perfect, it's going to be hard to work with you from that point. All right. So this is a little bit more on the focus. If every week you're telling your agent to focus on a new strategy, like, hey, this week I want to look at, hey, I came back from a webinar and now I want to do short-term rentals. And then a week later, like, hey, can you look at land for me in, something that I can build on? I want to build a tiny house community and I want to rent all those out. And then the next week you go, hey, never mind. I want to do some burr properties up in the mountains. And then the next week you're like, hey, never mind. I want to do crypto. Do you do crypto as an agent? No? Okay. So being distracted by shiny object syndrome just means that your criteria is diluted and that you're just going to be really hard to work with. And so anybody that you don't know, that next point, anybody that you don't know that you might need, your agent should know. And so ask for vendor recommendations. So at least for me as a good investor agent, I do have a vendor list that I share with all of my clients that has, my best HVAC guys, plumber, concrete guys, all the way down the list, pretty much from roofer all the way down to foundations of the house. And so that they don't have to use my guys, but I know that not a lot of people have, 30 different vendors that they've worked with in the past, that they trust, that that they've used the work before, and that they have no problem recommending to their clients. Excuse me. So don't be afraid to ask for recommendations. That goes with lending, that goes with insurance, that goes with inspections. It goes with a bunch of different things. That agent should be networked in and be able to give you some really good recommendations. And so as much as I talked up the agent, do your own homework, because at the end of the day, the money that you're putting down is yours, not your agent's. The risk that you're taking is yours and not your agent's. So being able to double check their numbers, whether it's comparables, after repair value, repairs, it doesn't hurt to also check out their recommendations for vendors. If they're giving you just one general contractor, you might want to find one or two more to compare them against each other. This is just part of you doing your own homework. It's kind of like with wholesaling. You're going to be running those numbers and doing your own homework anyways. Now, the ideal is to be able to work with a really good agent and eventually be able to trust pretty much anything that they put in front of you, whether it's to buy or to sell. But at first, you're going to want to check into their homework, make sure that you, since it's your money, so you don't want to take all the risk and just have all of that reliance on that agent. You want to do your homework. So be persistent and stay in front of your agent. I love proactive clients, and I try to be a proactive client with agents that I work with. So I try to connect with them on a weekly basis. I want to make sure that I'm basically in front of them on any deals that are coming through. If anything that needs to be tweaked, I give them a heads up that, hey, maybe this zip code isn't as good based on what we've seen over here. Let's double down on these 2 or 3 zip codes over here. So being persistent and proactive is huge. So I'll give you 2 of my favorite ways to find investor-friendly agent. The first one is not on the slide deck. I'm going to go a tiny bit off the rails from this, but my old way was just straight networking and referrals. And so if I go into a new market, I'm going to want to hit up some investor meetups and talk to any investor or agent that I can find to try to get to see who they use for, if I'm buying property, I want to find an investor friendly agent to buy. If I'm just selling flips, I want to find a really great listing agent who understands investing process as well. Those 2 ways have got me this far. And then thankfully the BiggerPockets has come through with their new their agent finder, and it's totally free as far as I understand. I've used it. I have like a pro account, so I don't know if you need a pro account, but if you go to this link, save this link, I'll actually put it in the chat as well. Let's see if it's saved. There we go. I'll put that in there a couple times. So not only did I test this out when they were first coming out with it, but I've used it myself to find agents in other markets. So I'm not only a cheerleader, I'm also a client. So basically all you have to do is go there and enter in your city or zip code. Easy enough, right? And I used to have to go through and search all the forums. I had to go through and search all the users. I had to go through and search everybody on BiggerPockets because I was trying to find a BiggerPockets agent anyways. And so before this tool came out, I was basically sifting through pages and pages and pages, looking through forum posts, looking through any information that I can find from anybody who just put in Columbus, Ohio, and I'd be looking for agent, and then have to call them and see if they work out, see if they're right. And so this made my life so much easier. I'll tell you that. So enter in your city or zip code, and it gets you a custom match with the right agent quickly. It's pretty much instantaneously. You can streamline your search no matter what the market. I've tried this in 6 markets, and I've connected it gives you 3 agents in each market that are at the top. Then I think it gives you more at the bottom. But I've connected in each one of these markets. These agents have raised their hand and said, look, I'm an investor-friendly agent, and I want to be part of whoever's looking for agents in this market. You have a couple agents to choose from. So it's not like they're just spitting out one agent and then, not giving you any variety there. So you can streamline your search based on your investing type, and then you tap into a trusted network. So this is why I started on BiggerPockets looking for agents before they made this tool. Was hey, if I'm looking for an agent, I want to find one that's investor friendly. I've been using BiggerPockets since 2005. I need to go onto there and find them. So this just makes it so much easier. So yeah, Tiffany says, is it free to use? Joseph said yes. All right, so this is what you do. So you would enter Minnetonka, Minnesota, and then it would ask you what type of property that you're looking for. So these agents on their back end have said, look, I've worked with single family, multifamily, mobile home, land. If they don't check one of those, I don't think that you get connected with one of those people because it's not in their expertise. So when are you looking to purchase in Minnetonka? If anybody's from Minnetonka, oh, there's Rick. There you go. So when are you looking to purchase? So this will let the agent know, like, not only are you looking for single family, but you're looking in the next 1 to 3 months. So they can kind of categorize you when you call them to, this is your timeline, this is what you're looking for, helps them nail down your criteria, which is great. So what is your price range? You can enter in your min max there. And if you guys want to start putting in questions into the Q&A, just because the scrolling chat, I may not be able to catch all those questions, but if you start putting them into the Q&A here in a minute, I'll start answering those live. So I don't know if you guys can see the Q&A section on the menu bar there, but I know Hannah came in with a question. We'll get to that here in a second. All right. Again, back to what makes a good client is, have you started the loan process? Not yet. You're pre-qualified, you're pre-approved. This just lets the agent know exactly where you're at in that process to help you get started. So, all right. How many investment properties do you have? So this just speaks to your experience. Are you a rookie? You have nothing. You have 6+ properties. You're a grizzled veteran. You know exactly what you're looking for. This helps the agent gauge where you're at and what you need. And then, of course, your contact info. So you would enter in your information here. You're already logged into BiggerPockets at this point. So, they already have this information anyways, but, and then on the next page, oops, I did something weird there. So on the next page, you'll see your agent matches and their bios. So they have a biography of, how many clients they've worked with, what types of properties they deal with, what areas they service, get to know them. Everybody goes through this should contact, every agent on that next page to make sure that it's somebody who will work for you, your personality type, what you're looking for, the area, your investment type. So even though, they put in this information, you filled out these forms, you're still going to want to make sure that it's a right fit moving forward, right? So here's Brad. He's a big fan. I think I know Brad, actually, now that I think about it. So easy to find by region, specialty, and experience, which is really nice because before it was pretty much impossible to find an agent. And the other way you could go find an agent is you could just search on Google and you'll get 9 million agents in that market and you can sift through them yourself. But I don't want to do that. So, okay. Instrumental in getting my first deal. So we went through the differences between the 3 different kinds of agents, the typical agent, the good real estate, the good investor agent, and the bad investor agent, of course. Doing your own homework and being prepared, and then matching with the right investor-friendly agent. And again, I am currently working with 2 out of those 6 agents that I did find on Agent Match, and the other 4 are only because we put going into those markets on the back burner. The minute that I want to go into those markets, I will definitely hit up those 4 agents again and go. So it's not only something that's just like, oh, it's this concept. I've personally used it, and I'm personally working with agents that I found through here. So that's why I was excited about this webinar, is because I'm doing it. And so some people don't know that this exists. And here we are. Thank you so very much for taking time out of your Thursday to come and learn about the Agent Finder tool, how to find the right type of agent, networking with agents, all of the things that we covered. I really appreciate your questions. There are a ton here. I really, really, really appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for taking the time to come and do this with me. And if you want to hit me up, you can find me on BiggerPockets, BiggerPockets.com/user/Anson, or find me on Instagram @YoungAnson. And I would love to, if you have any more questions, just hit me up and I'll be absolutely happy to answer any of your questions. So I hope you guys have a great week, great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.